Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear brothers and sisters, viewers, peace and blessings be upon everyone. This is an amazing show that we are starting a trend, inshallah, in a series of shows, and I'm joined here by Sheikh Abdurrahim McCarthy and Ismail Bullock, my dear brothers in Islam, to speak to you, the youth, the Muslims in general, about something very important, some of the topics that are very hot today in today's world. The Muslims are faced with so many issues, understanding where should we go, what should we do in Islam. There's so many people talking from different sides. We are bombarded by the non-Muslims with ever-changing trends, which are without a doubt affecting us, be it living in the Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries. Today specifically, inshallah, we'll be talking about the importance of the Sunnah and adhering to the Sunnah in the 21st century. So I want to kick it off with Sheikh McCarthy. What is the Sunnah? What is the importance of the Sunnah in Islam from the Sharia point of view?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. We look into the importance of the Sunnah and the reality of the Sunnah. We have to realize that if we're going to be firm and stay on the straight path and be successful, there's no other way than following the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made it very clear in several hadith, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made clear in the Quran. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Taraktu fikum ma in tamassaktu bihi lan tadillu ba'di." Kitab Allah wa sunnati. I left behind for you that which if you hold tight to, you will never go astray after me. The book of Allah and my Sunnah. So many people today, they want to say, we're going to be good Muslims, we're going to follow the straight path, but they want to compromise when it comes to holding on to the Sunnah and let Sunnahs go to please others. And if you look also into the reality of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, when he gave a description of the importance of holding on to it, how important it was to hold on to it, and he told us in the hadith, subhanAllah, look at the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, وَمَنْ سَيَعِيشْ مِنْكُمْ سَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever's going to live from you is going to see a lot of differences. Which way to go? Doesn't know which way to go. So he said the cure, the way out.
Confusion.
Yeah. He said the way out, فَعَلِيكُمْ بِالسُّنَّةِ وَالسُّنَّةِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الرَّاشِدِينَ الْمَهْدِيِّينَ مِنْ بَعْدِي. And then pay attention to this. He said, it's upon you to hold on to my Sunnah and the Sunnah of the Khulafa al-Rashidin. And who came out from Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali, radiallahu anhum. And then look what he said, alayhi salatu wasalam. عَضُّوا عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِذ. Bite down on it with your motor teeth. That's how you need to hold on to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ.
Ismail, as a British-born convert, revert to Islam, what is the importance of the Sunnah of a person who might come into Islam? Someone who, people say, well, hold on a second, you're British, and why are you dressed like this? Why you act like this? Are you betraying your identity, your culture? What would you have to say about it?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. I mean, to be honest, obviously, dress-wise, we know as Muslims we don't necessarily have to dress in this kandora or thobe, but it should be...
But there's some requirements.
Of course, there's requirements where it shouldn't, be very tight around your...
People don't seem to get these requirements, though.
This is the issue.
So, I mean, in reality, if you look at reality, a lot of the tight clothing that we wear in the West are not suitable for your prayer, in reality, And I always used to respect one brother in the masjid. He would come after work to some of the durus in one of the masjids in London, and he would come with the izar, the loin cloth or the cloth, and he would wrap this around when he would pray, because he knows that when he makes sujood, the area becomes very tight. So even in this aspect, he would follow the Sunnah. But as Brother Abdurrahim was talking, it reminded me of the statement of Imam Malik, rahmatullah, that he said that the Sunnah is like the Ark of Noah. Whoever embarks upon this Ark is saved, and whoever doesn't get on it or doesn't follow it is drowned. And that's the reality. And because if we try to practice the religion of Islam and we say we will only follow the Quran, I mean, we know there are many verses where Allah refers to kitab wal hikmah. The scholars said this hikmah is the Prophet ﷺ. And there's tens of ayat that talk about following Allah and following the Messenger, obeying Allah and obeying a messenger. For example, say, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. If you truly say that you love Allah, then follow me, the messenger, and Allah will love you and forgive you your sins. So we have so many evidences for following the Sunnah. And before I hand it over to you, Jibril, another statement of the Salaf came in my mind, that they said, and maybe one of you can clarify which of the Salaf it was, that they said, I don't know which ni'mah, which blessing was more, being guided to Islam or being guided to the Sunnah. Imam Ahmad. So you look at this here, and this is really showing us that Islam and the Sunnah, they come together on the same level. You cannot have true and proper Islam without having the following and implementation of the Sunnah.
MashaAllah. Now, Sheikh McCarthy, what does Sunnah linguistically literally mean? Because a lot of my people, I say, like, everyone's claiming, when the Sunnah. And some people say, well, the Sunnah is in my heart. Some people say, no, the Sunnah is only in my dress, but they have bad manners. Like, where's the fine line? So what does it mean, first and foremost? And from the Sharia point of view, how are Muslims supposed to implement the Sunnah? Is it in dress only? Is it only in actions? Is it in behaviors? What is it?
Okay, but first of all, what is the Sunnah? The Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is his sayings, his actions, and that was he approved of, alayhi salatu wasalam. This is the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, like the definition-wise. But we need to make it clear that the Sunnah is a complete way of life. All the aspects of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, which means all the aspects of life of the true Muslim. So when somebody is following the Sunnah, that means he acts like the Prophet ﷺ. You see it in his actions.
So his clothes or his beard is not the only thing.
It's not the only thing.
Okay.
And his actions. But the beard also is part of it.
It's part of the Sunnah.
Why do you have these big beards?
Right.
Because we want to be like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. People say, no, but it's too big. Well, you can bend it down a little bit. I said that the Prophet ﷺ, his beard used to fill up his chest.
MashaAllah.
So I want my beard to fill up my chest. So it's part of the Sunnah, no doubt about that. But then you need to look also what Aisha said, she described the khuluq, the manners of the Prophet ﷺ. Said, kana khuluqul Quran. That his manners are that of the Quran. So all the good actions, the good deeds, the good manners you see in the Quran, that was in the actions of the Prophet ﷺ. How he treated people, how he dealt with people, how he was kind to people. In the fact that he never said something negative to people, always positive. And he never would he treat people or put people down. And all of these good characteristics, no backbiting, no this.
These are Sunnah.
Yeah, they are all from the Sunnah.
I mean, that reminds me of some statements of Ibn Mubarak, rahimahullah, when he said that we are in more need of good manners than we are of knowledge. Emphasizing, you can have knowledge, and we see so many brothers who claim to be, they are on the way of the Salaf, and they are on the way of the Sunnah, but their manners and the way they debate and talk to people is really bad. And you see another statement of Ibn Mubarak, rahimahullah, when he said that I spent my first 30 years learning adab, learning manners, and then 20 years in seeking knowledge.
Right.
And also,
they used to say that, by the way. They say that we learn the adab before the ilm.
Right, and even some of Imam Malik's students, they said what we learned more from Imam Malik, more than the knowledge, was his excellent manners.
So, something interesting that you said, and we can all comment on it. A lot of times, some brothers might look like following the Sunnah, but they're not following Sunnah in the manners. And this is maybe a contention point or something that's hindering the other people from trying. They think that this is the Sunnah, and these brothers represent the Sunnah, and we don't want anything to do with your interpretation of the Sunnah. What do you think about this? I mean, you guys have traveled the world and have dealt with many brothers and many sisters and communities in the world and so on, and you've seen the trends spreading the West and the East and so on. Is this something that the behavior of some people who might look or might act, say that we're on the Sunnah?
I don't believe that's the general. I mean, because I also want to make this clear, I want to highlight on that it's not maybe a big thing that people are following the Sunnah, because if somebody is truly following the Sunnah, somebody is truly living with the Sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, you're going to see it in their actions. They're going to be perfect in their actions and their character. So I mean, just because there's some people who might do that, it's not like a widespread thing.
Okay.
If somebody actually is following the Sunnah, inshallah, they're not going to have that. I want to highlight two quick important things here, and that is when we talk about following the Sunnah. Okay, following the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's just like following the command of Allah subhanahu wa taala. It's not up to us if we want to do it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He says to us in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا. Pay attention to this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it's not up to a believing male or female. And always the scholars of tafsir, they say that when He mentions the male and female in the same time, they say pay close attention, because this is very, very important. Because it would have been enough to say the believer. Right. When He said male and female, is very important. If Allah and His Messenger have declared something in their affair, then it's up to them. Khalas, you have to accept it. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you say, Sami'na wa ata'na, we hear and we obey. And then check out the verse at the end. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he has gone astray. Not just any type of astrayness, Bayan mubina, meaning a clear astrayness. Okay? Another quick verse that we'll add here. And that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا وَرَبِّكَ, He swears, subhanahu wa ta'ala, لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم ثم لا يجدون في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت ويسلموا تسليما. In this verse, look how strong this is to the true believer. Well, Allah swears, they do not believe, they're not believers, until they return to you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not in his life to him directly, and after his death to his Sunnah alayhi salatu wasalam, to the difference that they have, and to see what is the solution in the Sunnah. And when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says it, he said, and then they don't find anything in their heart. This is the Sunnah, or yusallimu taslima. They surrender completely to your Sunnah, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the reality, the strength of this verse. You have to realize that it's something that it's not an option for a Muslim. And this is the last thing, I'm going to turn over to you guys to talk about this here at the end of the episode, inshallah, which is about, a lot of people get confused. And maybe in another episode we can go more into depth in this, is the fact about, can you practice the Sunnah and still be a productive Muslim? And a lot of people have a confusion about this, and the Sunnah highlights this as well.
Okay.
So, this is the misconception.
What do you mean by can you practice the Sunnah?
Okay. People can say, for example, that if you're practicing
and have a good job or something.
You can't.
Okay.
So
this is what a lot of people think. Like if you have the beard and I don't know, it's going to hinder hijab to take the job that you want or that position or be the person that you.
And people look down upon you. Who is this guy? What is he about? So you think you can't practice Sunnah. But the Sunnah itself, subhanAllah, the Prophet ﷺ, he said in the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He loves from the believer if he does something to perfect it. So the Muslim, all throughout history, the Muslims, they've been the ones who are the scientists in the affairs of the dunya. And we have seen several examples of that, where the Muslims, they're the front runners on all of these affairs. Right. So obviously we know from the start that is a misconception that's not accepted. So we don't accept as Muslims.
SubhanAllah, even if you just look at the practical aspects of the Sunnah, how would we pay the zakah? How would we know how many times to pray? You have, may Allah guide them, some misguided groups now who say we don't need the Sunnah, it's only the Quran. How do they know how many times to pray? How do they, the units of prayer, what to say when they're making ruku', what to say when they're making sujood. All of these things, and there's a very nice book for someone who wants to read more, which is available in English, written by Sheikh Al-Albani, when he talks about it's called The Importance of the Sunnah. You can find it on the web, and he gives many good examples like this of how the Sunnah is a completion of the religion. The Quran and the Sunnah, they are together. This is the religion of Islam.
I think we're pretty much out of time, but just kind of to wrap it up, what we want to, tell the people who are watching is to clear up this misconception, first and foremost, that the Sunnah is something that is just optional. That, I'll follow the Sunnah, or I won't follow the Sunnah, I can still be a Muslim. It's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has pretty much ordered us that we should follow. At the same time, the Sunnah is something that will give you that edge in your life to perfect everything, to do everything with ihsan. This is part of the Sunnah. To have those good manners and morals that will nurture that society, that society that had that izzah before, the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at the time of the Salaf and the Tabi'een, who had that, they took at the forefront of science, of dunya things, and they perfected these science based on following that.
Even going back to the person's personal perfection, we know that doing the Sunnah prayers, doing the acts of Sunnah and the Nawafil, they complete the Nawaqis, like the things, the shortcomings in your prayer. For example, if you've looked around, you've lost concentration in your Fard Dhuhr prayer, the Sunnahs before and after, they add like extra reward to make up for that misreward. So even from this aspect,
I'm going to add something just here at the end because we're out of time now. But you mentioned somebody, Imam Malik, when he said it's like the Safina, the Ark of Noah. He also said something else. He said, La yaslu, that this ummah will not be successful. The end of this ummah will not be successful except for what the beginning of the ummah was successful. And that was holding firm to the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet.
MashaAllah. So we're kind of out of time. Jazakumullah khair for watching this amazing show. Inshallah, there will be many other episodes touching upon these very important topics that are of very, really of great need for the ummah to understand, for the Muslim youth and everyone. Jazakumullah khair. Ismail, Shaykh Khaliti, and myself, Jibreel. We'll see you inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل عليه وسلم اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل